I'm Al McFarland. Welcome to the Conversation with Al McFarland. I'm glad to be here, as always, and glad for those of you who are with us and will be joining us across the several social media platforms that we are streaming live to. We're streaming to Facebook for Insight News and Facebook for National Newspaper Publishers Association, NNPA, the Black Press of America. We're streaming live to LinkedIn and to the YouTube channels of the Black Press of America and of Insight News. And daily we connect, we convene, we chop it up, we talk about issues that are important, and we want to involve you. So let somebody know that we're live now. We will be for about an hour, and we simply are going to have a conversation about important issues in the community. Yesterday we talked to one of the organizers of an upcoming event this weekend in Twin Cities. National Black lawyers and other activists are holding an emergency Black leadership meeting. We'll talk more about that today. We're going to be joined by our friend and dear leader, dear sister, Kenya McKnight Ahad, and she's helped connect us with several of the people that are involved in presenting the program this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday. Among them, Brother Memoja Ajabu, who's a powerful voice for justice and healing. He's a former Vietnam veteran, and he's been on the front lines in community leadership for decades in Indiana. We'll get his story and have all of us invite you to join and support the event, the discussion, the convening this weekend at several locations, including George Floyd Square here in Minneapolis. I want to say, too, that I invite you to be part of the conversation. Jared, if you can, drop in a QR code. So if people want to come on the show, they can do that, but also put in the information where people who are here now can share this conversation with other people. And we invite you to share it. We've got the ability to monitor the chat. Come on and shout out your town where you are. Challenge me, challenge my guest, and say what you think the world is all about. We want to encourage robust conversation. Let me begin with Brother Benny Roberts. Benny Roberts is the new director, relatively new director of Hallie Q. Brown Community Center in St. Paul. It's at the Martin Luther King Center. And Benny says about himself that he's a relationship-centered executive director with a track record of strategic culture shifting and goal achievement. He's a person that believes he's emotionally intelligent. He sees himself as a servant leader. He has confidence and skill as a public speaker. He's creative. He's an influencer. And people know him as a dynamic professional with a passion for people and shaping organizational culture. I think those are particularly powerful attributes for the leader in community of a storied and legacy institution like HQB, Hallie Q. Brown Center. So, brother, I'm so glad to see you. We met a few days ago. You joined me on the board of Greater Twin Cities United Way. I'm looking forward to working with you in that organization, and you're unapologetically representing the vision, the interest, the legacy, the needs, and the opportunity and potential of Hallie Q. Brown's community. And to me, that means the community at large. It means humanity. Brother, welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Well, let's drop in with the mission. Let's introduce those who might not know the story on Hallie Q. Brown. I'll come back and ask you to talk about Benny Roberts as well. But let's start with HQB. Tell us about Hallie Q. Brown. What is the mission, the vision, and the history? And you might be frozen there. Let me see. I don't know if you're hearing me. Yeah. So technology, it's amazing. It's a wonderful thing. And Benny, we dropped you for a second, but come right back in when you can. So let me shift on to the other leader that I referred to in the opening remarks, and that's Elder Memoja Ajabu. And as I said, he's a Vietnam veteran. He's an activist and will be here this weekend. Brother, Ajabu, welcome to the conversation with Al McFarland. Let's bring you
Can you
in.
get him over
How you
there?
doing?
Yeah,
How you doing, sir?
But, I can't click on that screen. I gotta accept all the cookies.
You're on live now, brother Ajabu. Good afternoon, brother.
Can't get in.
Okay. So it's kind of in and out. We're working the technology out. Benny, you're back. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So Hallie Q.
And
Brown.
brother Ajabu, elder, stand by because you were in. I guess you didn't know you were in, but we'll bring you back in a couple of seconds and we'll have you join the conversation. But go ahead, brother Benny Roberts.
Yeah, my apologies, and I might need to shift locations. But Hallie Q. Brown is an original settlement house, Black settlement house organization. Hallie was actually founded about 1908, but didn't incorporate till 1929. After the post-industrial revolution, many Black families migrated to the North, seeking new opportunities. Unfortunately, seeing many of the same conditions as the South, which led to their partnership with the Black churches and other social aid organizations, putting together a settlement house that can help take care of the day-to-day needs of community. Thus, Hallie Q. Brown being founded. And so, very excited to continue in the legacy. Our mission is to increase the quality of life, extend the longevity, and create community immortality through our collective storytelling and archiving.
And so your organization is in the heart of the Rondo neighborhood in St. Paul.
Yes, sir.
And in many ways has been a beacon of light, a beacon of hope for the Black community. It's been a spawning ground, a birthplace for activism, both in the political, cultural, religious sense. It's really been an anchor institution in Minneapolis, in St. Paul, in Twin Cities actually, but based in St. Paul. And as you settled into the opportunity, how do you wear this responsibility? I think it's a huge responsibility that you shouldered. How does that sit with you and on you?
Yeah, I feel a duty to serve my community. My father grew up in Minneapolis. My mom grew up in St. Paul. And so I was a habitual river crosser. But the places I learned about really quickly first was Hallie Q. Brown, which is the building I met my wife in. But also my family has ties to Phyllis Wheatley, Sabathani as well. And so seeing that the significance of those centers in their community, I feel honored, and I feel like this work is a calling. I'm representing 4 generations of my family in carrying forward the work to serve and allow our community more progress and prosperity along the way. And I feel honored to be able to get to do that work as a leader here and a servant of this community.
What would you say are the main programs, services being provided by Hallie Q. Brown?
Yeah, so our food shelf is open Monday through Friday. We serve about 150 people a day through the food shelf. We have a clothing closet. We have some elder programs too. So we have our Magnificent Golden Agers, our Retired Men's Club, and then we do a lot of community gathering. And we're also moving forward really heavily to advance our archiving and historical research and collection work as well.
So how important is the work? What has Hallie Q. Brown meant to St. Paul's Black community, and what does it mean today?
Yeah, so what it means is a lot of the Black history actually comes through St. Paul, being the older city. The Hallie Q. Brown Community Center was the first cultural arts organization. They were the first rec center for the community of Rondo when the city wasn't providing those services to that community. We had the oldest child care center in the state. We have the oldest senior groups. Even today, our senior groups are about 95 years old. And caring forth, being able to serve people across all lifespan is critical to who we are and who we've always been. And so we want to just continue to lift up that work, being a hub for lifespan support.
Well, you know, Minneapolis and St. Paul, once again in the spotlight behind the recent murders, I say murders, killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. And those part of the invasion, the incursion of our city by the federal government through ICE and other elements of Department of Homeland Security. And while the professed aim from our president is to round up and get rid of aliens, people that are in the country illegally, and to ship them back to where they came from, because he calls them quote unquote rapists, killers, murderers, etc. I think in our community we see that whole scenario, that story differently. We know this country has a history of demonizing a people, demonizing a situation, and then allowing itself to do the unthinkable, the unconscionable. And that goes from mass incarceration, it goes to genocide, it goes to appropriation of human life and dreams and aspiration and more. So we all look at this kind of side-eyed, and some of us were saying that, this is the immigrants' problem, not our problem. I beg to differ, because all of us are connected in the community.
Yep.
All of us at one level or another have immigrated here, some voluntarily, but all of us, most of us, not voluntarily, but immigrants nonetheless. I heard people say, we shouldn't worry about what ICE is doing because we can't be deported. And my answer to that is, look, brother, look, sister, we were imported. And I bet you if they had the mind to import you, deviousness will find a rationale and a method to deport you if you let it happen. We know what happened before. Will it happen again? So how has this whole presence of ICE and this, what's the right word for it? I call it invasion. They have another word for it. Impacted the Black community in general, Hallie Q. Brown in particular, or some of the families, because your families are Asian and Latino and African American. You got a variety of people that you serve.
Yeah.
How has your organization been impacted, if it has?
Yeah, it definitely has been impacted. And honestly, I think the Blackest thing we can do and be is show up for everybody, because that's signature to our existence. There's never been a group that's not benefited from Black people. And there's never been a time where we weren't generous with our gifts in a way that everyone else can eat off of it and benefit from it too. And so I get disappointed when I hear that some of our own people don't think this has anything to do with us, because if it will happen to them, and we know we've always been treated, the lowest, then it can definitely happen to us too. And so the way we stand up for our brothers and sisters who have immigrated from different communities, I think shows the best of who we are as Black people. The center has always been anchored in making sure that people know our story and that our community doesn't get ignored and doesn't lack resource, but that also includes serving everyone else in this community. And so we have several families of different cultures that have taken advantage of the resources, the legacy, the history, and the benefits of the services that we offer. And we do have families that are intimidated with coming in. And there's a little bit of me that's frustrated, because I think when they see historically Black organizations, oftentimes we're thought of so little that we're not even the target. So I think the blessing in that is we haven't had too much interruption outside of an incident that happened in our parking lot with a volunteer. But we haven't had our center terrorized, which has allowed us to continue to serve families uninterrupted. But we have a deeper responsibility to meet people where they're at. That's signature to a settlement house. And so we're trying to find new ways to bring the resources to our families who are impacted directly, and then ensure that we step up as a people to participate in the solution of serving our community and all in it.
Benny Roberts, thank you. Hang out with me. Me introduce you and myself and others, our listeners too. My next guest, Brother Memoja Ajabu. He's a prominent activist, a clergyman. He's a Vietnam War veteran. He's based in Indianapolis, Indiana. He's widely recognized for his leadership in the Indianapolis Black Panther Militia during the 1990s, and his longstanding advocacy for social justice and veterans' rights. He served at the 101st Transportation Unit of the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War. In community, he was a former, as I said, commander of the Indiana Black Panthers. He's been a vocal figure in Indianapolis, challenging racial inequality and political leadership. He hosts an internet radio show called The After Naked Truth on 91.9 WITT FM. And he's run for U.S. House of Representatives in Indiana's 7th Congressional District several times. He's active in the Clemency Campaign, a high-profile effort to seek clemency for his son, Kofi Ajabu. This campaign recently gained support from the original jury foreperson and a U.S. Representative, Andre Carson. He's an advocate for prison reform. He continues to advocate for justice within the legal system, including filing lawsuits regarding jail conditions. Elder, thank you. Welcome to the conversation. How you doing, man?
Man, I could be worse. But I really agree with the positions that you and my fellow next to me have taken, because the fight that is being fought in Minneapolis is the same fight, or the same people that we're going to have to fight that's going to come after us. So when people say it ain't our fight, you know, it ain't. We ain't on the front line yet. Now, yeah, because they coming, because we the ultimate target, and so they trying to test the waters to see. Okay, let's jump on the Latino and see if they buck hard enough to where it's that we need to stop. But we don't really want to. Then we just. Troops being in the street, and if they respond all right with troops being in the street when we go after them black folks, who is really what we going after, then we got to win the political war. Now, we need to stand more than likely behind, possibly with, but we can't stand in front of those people. They got to fight that fight. And yeah, because we got to get ready for the fight that's coming to us. And we got a reprieve because they was coming February 3rd. Because, you know, Duck Bold, you know, and I call him Duck. You know, look like a duck, quack like a duck, got yellow hair like a duck. Donald T. Duck, I call him Duck. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, Duck, you know, but Duck, you know, he bold. He don't try to hide what he doing. And he told him, he said, on February the 3rd, I'm going to Columbus, Ohio.
Yep.
And what I'm doing in Minneapolis, I'm going to get ready I'm going to do it there. But instead of my target being Latinos, my target's going to be Haitians. Well, now, see, if you understand the code, if you're a Nigerian and you in Columbus, you a Haitian. Yeah, if you from Jamaica and you in Columbus, you a Haitian. If your baby was born there from the slave trade, yo, but on February the 3rd, you are a Haitian. and so, the fight just ain't came to us yet, and we got a reprieve. Yeah. The court said, no. For that yet, don't jump on them yet, cause they gonna fight. They ain't gonna be like them Latinos. They gonna fight, and I know we ready for that. And I'm saying that, look.
So your signal's going in and out, but the energy is strong. So keep going.
Ain't fight. Please don't We gonna fight. Ain't nobody going back. And them days you hanging in the tree, those that ain't in our future. We got none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't doing none of that. And if you think you're gonna do that to us, we gonna fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't no going back to that. And so we're coming and mobilizing in Minneapolis this weekend to send that message, and then we even going to send it around the world on the 21st because we are mobilizing around the world. And I'm confident. I'm just believing that we're going to be addressed by the president of the Alliance of the Sahel States, who they done told France that they ain't going back.
That's right.
Bring them out of there. France came sneaking up, and last week came sneaking up in there with guns. They killed them.
Mm.
They didn't tell us, look, don't come back up in here. And then Duck, he said, they got my buddy in France. Well, maybe I can go up in there and make a deal. No, look, you can come up in there and make a deal if you know how to act. But you can't act to my people like you acting with those people in Minneapolis. We ain't buying that. You touch one of us, you done touched all of us. We're Pan-Africans. We're in the same family. Yeah, if you touch a Haitian, you done touch me. And he got the nerve to say that, look, the third he was going for the Haitians, then he said the 13th he going for the Ethiopians. Now he didn't say where he was going for them yet, that I've heard. But he's just talking cold language that, look, if you look like me, he, and three, they coming for us.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so what do
we
we do?
got to be ready. And we get ready. They done gave us a reperiod. And so we're going to send that message in the Minneapolis this weekend. And then we're going to send it around the world on the 21st. And then we'll send y'all the links so that y'all can mobilize there. And then I'm telling you, we are in negotiation with the president of the Alliance of Sahel States who to address them because they doing it well over there.
Mm-hmm.
The same day that Trump tried to go to Venezuela, they went to Venezuela and kidnapped Maduro. On that same day, Dr. Buddy was over in Burkina Faso trying to kill Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim stopped it before it started. Stopped it. Because the people are so politically aware that when they saw strange stuff, they went to Ibrahim. Hey, blood man, look. I don't know what they doing over there, but you ought to go look at that. They don't look like they doing what we ought to be doing. You need to go look at that. And Ibrahim snuck up in there and found out that they was plotting to kill him.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the 20th time, but he done beat them all the way through it. Really? Which means that he needs to come and share that knowledge to us on the 21st of September, which is the anniversary of the assassination of Malcolm X. Come and talk to us and tell us how you doing that, man. Because we don't want another Malcolm X. Come share that information so that we have that information around the world to where it's that when they come to assassinate one of our leaders, if they come to hurt one of our people, that we can stop it before it starts.
And so people will say, Brother Ajabu, that we talking a lot of talk, but honestly, everything you are saying is grounded in reality, in history, and in fact. Yeah. And this is not speculation, and it's not fear-mongering. No. This is telling us we need to wake up and see it for what it is.
Straight, no chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so go ahead, Benny, jump in. Any thoughts?
Well, yeah, just the thoughts as I'm considering what my brother said, my elder, that you're on the ball with it. And it's funny because if you think about Haiti, that was a revolution that they defeated their potential colonizers, right? And if Ethiopia is your next location, Ethiopia was another place that overthrew the threat of colonization. So this is
Italian.
Yep. So this is a white supremacy tactic to try to disarm the communities that have been able to successfully fight back against them, which, to your point, they're going to come back for every other one. And that's tied to the Latinx community, who's a part of the African diaspora as well, the West Indian, the Central American, and the South American. Many of them are of African descent as well.
That's
So
right.
they're the ones that you're targeting. And we've seen Native Americans be arrested and deported and detained, who that's the most ironic and asinine thing I've seen ever, to deport somebody who was absolutely here first when everyone behind them is an immigrant.
So it just tells you this whole language of deporting who's legal and not legal is a ruse. And this is really about raw power. It's about the concentration of wealth and power and might. And it has nothing to do with being a human being. It has everything to do with exploiting individuals, families, communities, the continued concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few, and the permanentizing of depravity and deprivation for the masses of people globally. And unless and until we figure out systems and processes and relationships between and among us to protect and grow sovereignty that everybody understands and feels and acts out of, so that it becomes something that we all own, that we are the owners of the notion of sovereignty on the planet Earth. Unless and until we find a way to communicate broadly, globally, we remain potentially victims. Our mission is to restore the balance in creation.
And
Brother
how do
Elder,
we do
go
that?
ahead.
How do we do that?
You tell me,
Now watch
organize.
this. Watch
Organize.
this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Organize.
But watch this. May I?
Yes, sir.
See, now, see, there's something that we as a people got to understand, that what you said needs to be done. The Creator has charged us with doing that.
Yeah.
We are the chosen to do that. Why do you say that, Elder? Well, when you look at, you know, sometimes I got to question myself to get it out of me. But look, Elder, now why do you say that? If you look at the map and you look at the African continent and you look at the resources that are in the world, every resource that's in the world, you can find it on the African continent.
Yeah.
There is no place else in the world where that phenomena exists. You can't go to Russia and find every resource in the world. You can't go to America, North and South, put them together and find every resources in the world. You can't go to Europe. You can't go to Asia. You can't go nowhere but to Africa to find every resource located in the world in that land. So that means that that was creating the universe, he chose us. And see, this is how we control. This is how we straighten them up. They can't run their society without getting out of our land what they getting. If we control what's coming out of our land, then we control the world, because we can tell the world, look, you can't get what you need to get in order to have the quality of life that you want to have, that you get it out of here. If you're going to get it out of here, you got to straighten your butt up. You can't be coming out of the hills and split and calling it America, and then gonna have the nerve to tell people who can come up into some land that you done stole? Have you lost your mind?
Answer is yes.
And we can straighten them up. I'm telling you, all we got to do is control what God has given us. We
That's right.
can straighten them up.
And we
And
have
then
to
see, we need to straighten them up. We need to straighten up.
Yep,
We got to be upright people.
that's right. Yep.
So that's how you do it. And that's the message that we're bringing to Minneapolis. And that's how we're going to even expand that around the world on the 21st. Because we got to get busy. We got to act like we chose it instead of acting like we froze it. Look, it's time to move. It's time to get out. Man, look, I don't care who. See, everybody's squabbling about who going to get the credit. The elder don't care. Whoever going to lead. Get us there. The elders goal is not to lead. The elders goal is to be free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of living like this. When it's obvious that the person, the energy that created this universe said that we're supposed to be the baddest people on the face of the earth, because I'm going to give you all the resources that I make on earth, and all you got to do is control it, and then you'll control earth, but you got to act like you got some sense. And that's our job.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Benny, go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, no, this is good, brother. And you said it. We got to wake up. We got to get our mind right. I decided to dedicate 2026 to going back to the classics. I don't want to hear from no influencer who's trying to spin their wheels on how to get out of the situation. I need to hear from Carter G. Woodson. I need to hear from James Baldwin. I need to hear from Audre Lorde, from Martin Luther King. And all the reading I'm doing this year is that I just refinished Miseducation of the Negro. I'm reading Jesus and the Disinherited from Howard Thurman right now. And they're talking 100 years ago and 50 years ago about what we're dealing with right now. But these are folks that have overcome because they've known how to equip their mind. They've known how to organize their people. And it's no excuse in the day of technology that we can't get organized, that we can't get our mind right with all the information and access. And so to practice what you're saying, I'm working on learning from those who have overcome so I can equip this generation that may not be in practice with that and how to do that. And so I'm really appreciative that you're gathering people, you're getting people together, you're learning from what's happening here, not waiting for it to come to your city next, and equipping so you guys are prepared and you act. And so I'm proud of our community because I think we've held this situation down better than many would have thought, because Minnesota especially has over a 50-year history of fighting for those on the margins. And so people are seeing on full display the strength of our communities today, but it's giving other people time to get prepared.
Brother Elder Jabu, let me ask you to reflect on what it means. Your bio prominently indicates that you have military service. You served in the Vietnam War. Mm-hmm. And I'm imagining that you were a young man in Vietnam. I imagine 19, 20 years old, maybe.
20.
And you came up and into that service in an arena where on the street at home, the voice of Malcolm, the voice of Martin, the voice of Stokely, the voices of the generations before them, Paul Robeson, the labor organizers, all of those were, and the great writers, Ralph Ellison and Richard Wright, Frantz Fanon. And beyond that, we learned more about our history and ourselves through the readings and teachings of John Henrik Clarke and Chancellor Williams and just a number of people. So we've been going through this process of massive emergence into awareness and consciousness, and it's been ongoing, but it's mushrooming, right? And so you've come through a period where you had to sort of walk through the contradiction of being in uniform in the service for this country in a position where you were asked to put your life on the line to take other men's and women's lives for an idea called democracy and freedom that you knew inside was not true. And it wasn't that the philosophy wasn't true. The personal reality in your lived experience was a reflection and demonstration of the lie itself. You are witness to the lie. And we all have been, our parents, our grandparents, and the people that we came from. And so we've come to a place now where we find it no longer tenable to act like the lie is not a lie.
It is a lie.
We got to tell the truth. And if it's uncomfortable, so be it.
Yeah, you just gonna be uncomfortable. Yeah. Can I engage? Man, it is a blessing. It is to be able to engage two black men that's thinking like y'all thinking. And Vinny, I want to talk to you, man, about how how you raised a good point, and I'm coming to you. But I want to talk to Benny because see, we got to understand that history informs us and can guide us, but it can't lead us.
Yep.
And so we got to use that history to understand where we need to go.
Yep.
And see, understand history changes, and I can use a good example of Malcolm X and how he thought that if we went to the United Nations, that it would have the authority and the power to change how America was acting toward us and make them act more humanely. Well, I thought as a young man that I thought that was true. But then as I got older, I understand now that the United Nations is a puppet of the United States. So you can't go up in there and get nothing done. I mean, you can make people aware, but you ain't gonna get nothing done because the U.S. got veto power. But you can go, now watch this, you can go to a federal court and some of them folks are bucking, they'll buck them. And you got people that's bucking right there in Minneapolis who and the court is telling them, look, you can't come up in here and act like that because you are acting, now they don't use this word. They'll say authoritarian or you're acting bullish. But see, the word that they need to use is tyranny. You're acting tyrannical. And if you use the word tyranny, then that has legal implications because if you say that the government is tyrannical, then the Constitution says that a citizen not only has the right, but the duty to change that government. See, I look at your mayor Frey and your governor. They will use the word authoritarian, but they won't use the word tyranny. And even if they use it, they need to challenge it in court. Well, see, we done it for them. We said, well, look, we gonna help you. So the Black Panther movement filed an amicus brief into the court and make the case that the way that Duck got the Ice Ages acting there in Minneapolis is tyranny. And if it's tyranny, which it is, then the people can respond against it any way they see necessary, and they are within the law. Frey and Waltz appear to be reluctant to put that power into the people because if they get to court to rule that it is a tyrannical government, then the people can get out there and kick them Ice Ages in the butt and be legal. That's what I
They may
wanted to
be
say to you.
simply weighing the numbers right now. Frey and the Fry and the city have about maybe 1,200, 1,500 sworn officers on their payroll, whereas your president, Donald Duck, as you call him, has put 3,000 people on the ground, at least 4,000, according to Keith Ellison, who said the number. Of course, they've had news in the past day or so about the government saying it's going to pull 700 out. 700, so what? They shouldn't be here
That's
at
not
all.
enough. That's
But
not
let me
enough.
do this. Let me welcome Sister Kenya McKnight Aha, because I want her to give the details. Thank her for curating this program, for supporting, getting you and I connected for this conversation. Thank you, Sister Kenya. But I want to make sure that we tell people there is something for everybody to do tomorrow and the next day and beyond, because we're building something here. And as Elder said, this is the beginning of something that's national, global, towards freedom for our people. Kenya, good afternoon.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Hey, Benny, and hey, Elder. Hope you all are well. So yes, this is about a continuum, right? And there's so many amazing initiatives happening around the Twin Cities. And I know, Benny, you probably talked about some of the work that you're doing here in St. Paul, etc. And so here for the Emergency Black Leadership Summit that, Elder, along with Brother Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz and several others who are coming here prepared to talk about what it means to mobilize in the Black community, to provide legal support for the Black community around immigration, but also ICE. What do you do if you get pulled over? These sorts of things and much more. Plus, really having a conversation between local and national leaders about the movement and where we are and how we work together, even more so as a community of people representing our interests, our priorities, and also how we then take that to a broader place of, connecting across the diaspora as well. Some of the things on the table does include reparations. You got folks in the Black Panther movement, all sorts of different folks who are coming, across the country to Minneapolis to convene on Saturday, where we have about 3 different things going on. Folks will be meeting up at the state capitol at 12 p.m. with Brother Malik Zulu Shabazz and Jonathan. I'm blanking on his last name. Sorry, Brother Jonathan. Brother Jonathan and Malik is kind of leading that piece there, but be at the Capitol to convene, encourage folks to come out. This is the Capitol. We want to make that statement. And then from 3 to 5 o'clock, we'll be at the George Floyd Square at the Listen to Us studio with King Demetrius. And there we'll be holding a legal briefing, a legal training, and a legal clinic where, we'll all learn about what to do, with ICE and other police and just general issues that the Black community is facing as it relates to police, but also just in general, right? You got questions about reparations or just other legal things that you need advice or insights on, right? Folks will be there ready to serve. Attorneys, we're currently coordinating with some local attorneys like here in Minnesota as well, who can provide and step up, provide some free legal services. And let me say it again, it is free. All are welcome to join. We will be doing a big press conference there at 3 o'clock as well. So it'll be great to have as many of us come to the square at 3 p.m. as possible. Again, we'll be at the George Floyd Square at the Me Too or Listen to Us studio, which is at 3730 Chicago Avenue South in Minneapolis. And then lastly, we're going to have a summit at 1256 Penn Avenue North, known as the Thor Building, Plymouth and Penn Avenue on the 5th floor. You'll see all sort of signage that will let you, lead you to the 5th floor. There's a huge parking ramp for those who are driving to park in the ramp, but also for those who are on the bus. This is on the number 19 bus line and the number 7 bus line. And so you can definitely bus there and catch an Uber, etc. But you're welcome to join us from 5. The doors open at 5. We'll get started about 5:30, 5:45 to 10 p.m. We'll have dinner, so we'll be breaking bread as a community. And then we have a large lineup of panelists of local and national leaders. And so I guess I can read some leaders off to you if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah.
But we definitely have Malik, Zulu, Shabazz. We have Elder. Elder, you're going to be on the panel. Is that right? Oh, he kind of froze up, but yeah. Elder will be with us as well. Oh, is he gone now?
He'll come back.
Okay. All right. We have representatives from, so Elder, and then we have Imam Akbar, Sheikh Imam Akbar. He's the national ambassador in and he's part of the Black Panther movement. We have the Brown Berets, which is our Latin brothers and sisters that will be joining us. We have some students from Howard University. We also have Rashad Singleton. He's the president of the National Reparations League. And again, we have organizers coming from Indiana, Cincinnati, and all over the country. Now, some of our local folks, and I was told, Benny, that you might be joining us for this panel.
Yeah, I'm trying to make arrangements. Yep.
Okay. We have Brother Antonio Williams, who's the executive director of Tone Up. As you know, he's working on ending slavery in prisons. And we have our Cortez Rice. He's a national civil rights activist and organizer who's very present in the movement. We have Anika Robbins, who's the president of the Black Voice Matters, helping to push the importance of Black political engagement. We have Thomas Berry, who's the president of 12 Watch App. And then we have Rod Adams, who's part of the New Justice Project. And then we have myself, I'll be joining on. And that's so far who our lineup is for the summit. There will be opportunities for question and answers, but we will be talking and really sharing a lot of wisdom and insight. And this is also about base building, which I know Rod Adams, with the New Justice Project has this weekly meetup of Black leaders on Thursdays. And so I know we're trying to get them on the show tomorrow so they can come and share more. But we need to just keep building. And not only just build here locally, but how do we connect nationally to, the broader historical, cultural, and necessary movement of Black people. So that's what I have to share.
Brother Ajabu, you mentioned Ibrahim Traore. How important is it that we pay attention to the shift in attitude, how African people see themselves as stewards of the resources that they live on, and how they renegotiate relationships with people that had seen themselves as both imperial, then colonizers, and in both cases, extractors of the wealth of Africa. That is changing. And what is the message, and how do we apply that principle in our lives here in the diaspora?
Very important question. And I want to set that up by the question that you asked me earlier about my experience in Vietnam. See, the brother Ibrahim Traore, and we're negotiating with him to speak with us on the 21st. In my experience in Vietnam, what woke me up as to where I am now and set me on the path that I am now is I was 20-year-olds in the jungles of Vietnam, sitting in Chu Lai. And there was a woman who we call Saigon Mary, Vietnamese woman, who set up a PA system outside the perimeter of Saigon on the anniversary of Martin Luther King's assassination. Black man, why are you over here in Vietnam fighting for a country that's fighting you? That's what we grunted too, Doc. We grunted too. We said, damn, look at that. And when we understood that was what we was doing, we quit. That was April 1969.
And that is why the war ended.
And the leadership came. Look, the leadership came and said, look, y'all better start fighting for us. He said, no, man, we do fighting for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we ain't gonna fight the Vietnamese. And if you try to make us fight you, and we stopped them. That happened in April. I'm telling you, in June they said they had to get out of there because them brothers ain't fighting no more.
Yep.
Now, Ibrahim Traore has done the same thing. I'm living witness to say that we can win. They can't beat us, man. And he has stood up and said, look, you can't beat us. You keep trying to kill me. You can't get it done. You come over here trying to take land in Mali. We stopped you. We ain't looking for no fight. But if you bring a fight, you're going to find what you're looking for. And so he's going, and we're negotiating with him to come. And I can't thank the Honorable Malik Zulu Shabazz enough for the vision that set all of this in motion. And he's going to I'm confident that he's going to come and talk to us and talk about how we can start controlling those resources on the African continent to where it's that we control the world. When I was there in June of 2025, I spoke with me and the delegation that I led. We spoke with the president of the Commission for the Alliance of Sahel States. And when we were talking to him, we shared with him that we had heard his address at the United Nations. And at that address, or in that address, he spoke about how that they honored Malcolm X. And we had Baba Mukasa with us. We had Elijah Muhammad's daughter-in-law with us. Both of those people knew Malcolm personally. And we told him that you he said, well, how did y'all know that? That was in French. Well, there's interpreters, there's things that interpret that. He said, well, man, we didn't know that our words had that kind of impact, so wide an impact. He said, now you know what that means? That means that with you understanding what we're doing, that understanding acts as a bulletproof vest. So if they try to come and kill us, they understand that they got a problem with you, and that's a bulletproof vest for us. Keep doing it. And that's the part. That's the part that we play. We don't see our job. Our job is not really to pick up the weapons. Now we got to stop people from hurting us. Mm-hmm. But to wage that war, that's on them.
Yeah.
Our job is to support them.
There's a scenario, though. Think back, and we don't say this enough. We don't talk about it enough. But the so-called Civil War. So the war changed because of the actions of black men and black women. What do you mean? Those black men that had been held in bondage and slavery in the South, throughout the South, once the planters had gone off to war, decided they were going to walk off the plantation. And they did, by the thousands and hundreds of thousands, right? And they came to the opposite side, the northern side.
North. Mm-hmm.
That side didn't want them to take up arms, didn't want them to fight for their freedom and to help them win the war, but they were losing the war until a couple of smart generals said, look, Lincoln, we're going to lose unless these black men can be armed to fight for the freedom for the whole country.
That's right.
There's a precedence here, and this is both sides of that coin. We walked away from it in Vietnam. That brought the Vietnam War to a close.
Yes,
we walked through it in the Civil War because our freedom was at stake. But we are central to freedom in every and any instance.
That's
And we
it.
need to know it.
Yeah, but how did they treat us? Now look at that.
There you
And
go.
you're exactly right. We helped them to win the war, and we was in Natchez, Mississippi, 20 to 30,000 of us, and they didn't know what to do with us. The South said there's too many of them. We can't have them all in the city. They're causing the city resources to get slim. North, what you gonna do? The North marched us to a gorge, put a fence around us, didn't feed us, didn't give us anything to drink, and they just let us starve and die right there in that gorge. And when we died, they just took and threw and put some dirt on it. They call it the Devil's Punch Bowl. Right there in Mississippi. So, and then see, here it is again. We fight for people that done stole some land. This is stolen land. Why would we help people keep stolen land? We better than that. If we gonna fight for our land. I'm telling you, the creator of the universe done put every resource in the world on our land. We don't have to fight for somebody to keep some stolen land. Fight to keep our own land. And so that's where we are today. And that's what Traore is saying. We're going to fight to keep our own land. And we're Pan-Africans. We understand that this land is for Africans no matter where they are in the world. And there's enough. There's more than enough.
That's right.
Your job is to help us. Look, we done took it. Your job is to help us keep it. And you can help us keep it by letting that cat over there in the White House, letting Doug know that if he come over here trying to swim, he gonna have some turbulence in the water where he lives.
There we go.
That's
Listen,
our
Kenya,
job.
let's close it out. We got about a minute left. Let's invite people to show up, and show out this weekend.
Yeah, like every day,
Yeah.
this is our day and our weekend, especially during this time. And yes, it's Black History Month, as we know. That's every day for us, but it's especially important right now because we're at a different time, and where the whole globe, right, is I call this the reconstruction of America, the second reconstruction, if you will. And so in that, if we're not determining what the reconstruction of us and our direction, our priorities and things are, then who will, right? And so we'll end up wherever other people want us. So it is really about us developing that for ourselves. And many of us are already moving, and that's great. Let's come together and share that information. Let's build together. Let's move collectively. Let's be who we've always been. And now, in this time, as with these multi-generations, I think it's beautiful to be working across generations like this and still being able to get the insights and wisdom from our elders while we're still out here working right across our organizations, our companies. We've got our young folks out here. We're all together, and let us move as accordingly as possible. So some of the things you can jump right into is on Friday, starting at 12 p.m., we'll be at the state capitol with Brother Malik, Zulu Shabazz, and Brother Jonathan. And I'm sorry, Jonathan, I'm keep blanking on the last name, but we'll be there showing some political and, just some presence, leadership. And then we'll be at the Listen to Us studio inside the George Floyd Square, which is at 3730 Chicago Avenue South in Minneapolis. And we'll be there doing a press conference, but also a legal brief, and a legal training on like what to do if you get pulled over by ICE, or how do you deal with police issues, or just general issues that impact our community. So there's the training, there's the brief, but there's also some direct services happening from 3 to 5. Come on down to the George Floyd Square and hang out with us. And then from 5 to 10, the doors open at 5. But we'll get started about 5:30, 5:45. We'll be at 1256 Penn Avenue North on Plymouth and Penn, known as the Thor Building, where we'll be there having a really big discussion, right, and training with our local and national leaders. We'll really be building on, what's happening, where we are, and how we build forward and move together as a unit, nationally and locally. So it's base building, but it's also, information, wisdom sharing. This is where we grow and build. This is what we've always done, and let us come together and do that here in Minneapolis on Friday. We'll see you there. It's free and open to the public. Come he, come all. We hope to see our community present for sure.
Benny, let me ask you to invite people to support you at Hallie Q. Take a minute, if you would, before we close out. Then we'll have a final word with the elder before we close the show.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're committed to doing the work. We're serving our people daily, making sure that the human rights and basic needs of us all are met. I invite you to come to Hallie Q. Brown, 270 North Kent Street, St. Paul, 55102. Here in the heart of Rondo. We are the headquarters of Rondo. In order to do this work, we need everyone. It's mutual aid. It's money. We are a 501c3. You can send tax deductible donations to help.
Okay. Let me close with a note. You're freezing up on me. Let me close with a note to Elder Ajabu. I raised the question about your veterans experience because I'm a veteran as well in the same area. I was in the Navy in 1966 through 68 in active duty and beyond that in reserves. And I didn't go to Vietnam. It was the Vietnam era. I did Mediterranean cruises on a destroyer. I tell people that I was on a ship of 300 people, 6 of whom were black, right? Part of a squadron, a fleet that sailed in the North Atlantic, Caribbean, and Mediterranean. But I tell people that the only fighting I did as a black man in the Navy was fighting white sailors on my ship. That's the fight I had. And whenever our ship pulled into a port, Naples, Piraeus, Greece, Athens, Greece, Crete, Toronto, Italy, Barcelona, Spain, whenever we went to shore for R&R, we invariably ended up fighting white guys, white military people. And we're fighting this white presumption that they were better than us and bigger than us, but it was an FAFO situation. They found out every time.
Yeah.
You know,
They can't be there.
So I heard another guy who's on social media talking about the fact that story that I told about black soldiers, you just told it, refusing to kill Vietnamese, refusing to fight. That's what ends the war, right? It's the position we took. Right. And so I'm curious to have a conversation with you and other veterans down the road about examining the roles that we have played and the knowledge we've gained, the technology we've mastered, the skills we've acquired, and how we continue to apply those skills, that leadership, in the development of an African-centered future. So we'll come back to that in the future. You close us out, brother.
I like the way you're talking, man. I like the way you're talking. Yeah. Let's get organized and get mobilized. So that we can realize our rightful place in the world, other things. And Sister Kenny, you right on. And Benny, I love all y'all. Yeah, no. With that kind of thinking, we're going to be free. The elder want to be free.
With that, let me say thanks. Thanks to everybody. We'll see you all this weekend. Tomorrow, we're going to be here tomorrow again, Kenya, and bring some more voices. And let's keep this thing going. I'm Al McFarland. We'll see you next time.
All right, Black Pine.